All right, guys, so I watched Peacemaker Season 2, Episode 3. Pretty sure it's 3. And this, I think, was probably my favorite episode of the season. I think it had just the best blend of everything that I like about the show. It had the best humor that was genuinely funny and that it wasn't cringy like some of the stuff in the first 2 episodes. I think it has the best emotion. I think the actually going into the other universe and exploring the idyllic life that Chris wants, like that, those themes that it's exploring, I think was the best done here. So I really enjoyed this episode. So let's get into it. Start off by bringing back Joel Kinnaman as Rick Flag Jr. They reveal that he actually had a fling with Harcourt, which I thought was very interesting. I guess they're trying to retcon the original Suicide Squad, not even the Suicide Squad, but Suicide Squad. Although, is it even really a retcon? Because they're saying that this is a different universe. It's not the DCEU, so I guess it's technically not even a retcon. But either way, Rick Flag Jr. and Harcourt were best friends, and they almost ruined it by sleeping together, which is obviously kind of, very, very much similar to what's currently going on in present day with Harcourt and Peacemaker. But it also just totally redefines and recharacterizes the character of Harcourt, because now you kind of know that the reason why she was so distant from Chris and why she was kind of an asshole to him at the beginning of even the first season is because she knows that he killed her best friend. And it's one of those things where if you're an Argus agent and you're working for Amanda Waller, you kind of have to put on this front of that not bothering you, of you still going in and doing your job of working with Peacemaker. But now we can kind of know, and we can even look back at that first season, and we can kind of see where that animosity was coming from, which I think, James Gunn is really good at doing stuff like that, right? Like, when you find out Rocket's origin story in Guardians 3, it completely recharacterizes even the way that the character is portrayed in the first 2 movies. Man, especially going back and watching that scene from Guardians of the Galaxy 1 where Rocket gets drunk and he starts fighting with Drax, and he starts talking about how he's just this little monster and how everybody hates him and everybody makes fun of him and how it genuinely hurts him. It's like, go back and watch that scene from Guardians 1. It hits entirely different after watching Guardians 3. But yeah, James Gunn is good at doing that. Now we get into the intro, and I've seen people notice stuff about this episode, and I think they might be right. We'll see. And by the way, I don't know if this was leaked or if people actually noticed it, but if you look at the rest of the episode, right, and you kind of see when they go into the new universe, if you look at all the background actors and characters, and I didn't do a fucking frame by frame analysis of this, but it seems like they're all white. I don't know. I mean, it would make sense for this alternate universe America to be like a white ethno state, considering his dad is seemingly happy in this universe, and he's big, he's famous, he's a superhero, whereas in our universe, he's, him being a white supremacist makes him a villain. I mean, that would all make sense, right? But it's not, look, people are either geniuses or they're schizophrenic. But people notice that in the intro, John Cena's kind of maybe making a swastika in the beginning of it. I don't know. Okay, I genuinely can't tell if people are geniuses or if they're total schizos. But we're gonna find out. Okay, if it does indeed end up being the case that the alternate dimension United States is like a white ethno state, then I think that probably is the case. By the way, how are you guys doing with the intro? Because I feel like a lot of people didn't like it at first, and I feel like people are coming around to it. I've always enjoyed it. I don't know how you don't like the intro when you have Eagly breaking it down, stamping his feet and dancing. How does that not win you over? I have no idea. But yeah, I really like the intro. Especially it keeps on like evolving our understanding of it, and we're picking up on things like John Cena making a swastika. But yeah, either way, we'll see. But yeah, we open with or sorry, we're continuing. We get John Cena. I say John Cena, Chris. He's like talking to his brother. He's trying to learn more about this dimension, but he is specifically going to see the new version of Hardcore, right? And he gets on his Peacemaker bike, and I mean, yeah, like this is just his total fantasy of him being a hero, him being loved by everybody, and it's like you can totally see why he would want to be here, and why he's probably not going to want to leave. Oh, well, no, he does leave at the end of the episode. Never mind. But yeah, like you totally get why he's going to fall in love with this universe and how tragic it's going to be for him when it all comes crumbling down. But back in our universe, I like seeing Adebayo very much being like she's a digger, right? She doesn't just let Harcourt get away with not being open with her feelings, right? She starts digging when it comes to Chris and her hookups. And yeah, again, just like with the context of now knowing that she was best friends with Rick Flag Jr., like now it makes complete sense as to why she does not want to date Chris. I mean, it's probably like two-pronged, right? Because when she's talking to Rick Flag Jr. at the beginning of the episode, she talks about how them dating could potentially ruin their friendship, which she did grow to have a friendship with Chris. So from that front, she probably doesn't want to date him because she doesn't want to lose his friendship. But it's also like, can't she bring herself to date the guy that killed her best friend, her potential lover? It's interesting. I wonder exactly what she's going to give as a reason further down the line as to why she's not going to ultimately not want to date Chris. Because I feel like both of those are pretty valid. So we'll see how they go about exploring that. Joel Kinnaman continues to be in the show though, because he's now Rick Flag Jr. in this alternate universe, and he's still alive. He's kind of a goofball. He's like jealous of Chris, which is interesting that Chris in this universe is this like super popular sort of Chad kind of character, and Rick Flag Jr. is this kind of like more awkward, goofy character. It's interesting the switch up there. And I actually thought the bit was really funny with him like looking at them at Chris and Harcourt interacting. But yeah, we meet the new universe Harcourt. They go on a little date, and it is fun seeing the contrast between Harcourt from our dimension and Harcourt from this new dimension, and how the Harcourt from the new dimension is she's very bubbly, she's very warm. And you know, Chris is like, oh my gosh, I wish like she is like the perfect ideal version of Harcourt. I assume though that, yeah, I mean, I guess if everybody is right, then she's probably a white supremacist, which is gonna little bit of a turnoff, you know. So I wonder if that's gonna end up, stuff like that is gonna end up going down. I don't know. But I guess, yeah, speaking of about the whole potential white supremacist aspect of it, we get these terrorists called the Sons of Liberty. And yeah, I mean, it seems like we're going further on into the season. I guess these guys are going to become a lot more sympathetic because maybe they're not white supremacists. And so they're trying to fight back against the government. And it is interesting. Like, how bad is it? It's like, do we have like slaves? Are there like minorities in camps? Or were they just deported? Am I even talking about the show? Or am I talking about real life? Anyways. Yeah, we end off the episode though with Chris having a heartfelt conversation with his brother. And again, it's very like, this is like, none of this is going to end well, right? Like, they're obviously going to find out that he killed their Chris. It's like he's gonna find out more about this universe, and it's gonna, you know, like this universe is not gonna end up being as nice as he would have thought. So I'm very, I mean, I'm anticipating like the next episode to see if some of those dominoes start to fall. It's gonna be very interesting. So I couldn't again the fans. When I watched this episode initially, I wasn't necessarily looking at people's races, to be honest with you, but now I can't help but notice that a bunch of the Argus agents that are invading Chris's home at the end of the episode are black. It's like I think there's an Asian back there. Are we gonna in the next episode? Are we going to see them invade Chris's home, and then Chris is like forced to retreat back into into the new universe? And then are they going to follow him? And are we going to get a situation where a bunch of black people, like Argus agents, come into the white supremacist dimension and they end up facing problems because of that? I feel like that might be where this is going. So we'll see. We shall see. But either way, really like this new episode. Very intrigued to see where the season is going. Let me know what you think. What are your theories? And I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.